switching gears a little bit, I also want to talk about how psychology plays into different kinks and fetishes that people have. So I did a video about the mommy dom kink, and if you watched that video, you may remember that I made a comment about how it coincides with the phallic stage of development, which is the psychological stage in development between 3 and 6 years old. I want to talk about the developmental stages a little bit more. So first you have the oral stage, psychological development, which is 0 to 1 years old. And this stage, you're doing things like breastfeeding, play, you might be you might be kind of like orally fixated. Those kinks, if you're expressing those kinks, you might be kind of have some unresolved emotional needs from that developmental stage. The psychological meaning of that stage is that you are seeking nurturing and dependency, okay? So that's 0 to 1 years old. So if something happened to you in childhood, that might be why you seek those certain types of kinks, okay? The next stage is anal, which is 1 to 3 years of age. The psychological meaning behind the kinks that you're going to be seeking here are, it's kind of like a power struggle. The kinks have to do with shame and autonomy, knowing getting into yourself as a person. Some of the kinks that are associated with that psychological stage include control and discipline kinks and humiliation. So all you people that are into humiliation, it's possible, I'm not saying for sure, but it's possible that you might have some unresolved emotional needs from that developmental stage, the anal stage, 1 to 3 years old. And then next would be the phallic stage, which I've talked about before. That is 3 to 6 years old. Kinks that are associated with that stage include exhibitionism, daddy mommy play, which I've talked about before. And the psychological meaning behind that is identity formation, forming your own identity, and gender roles. So you're kind of establishing gender roles in that stage of psychological development. Hold please, where is my powder? Ah, there it is. Okay. Where were we? Okay, phallic stage. So after the phallic stage, we have the latency stage, which is between 6 and 12 years old. And I learned about all this in college. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, it was a long time ago. So it's kind of fun to go back and see how kink and BDSM relates to these different stages that I learned about so long ago. Because if you didn't know this about me, I worked with children for many years, and I have lots of training, not only in psychology, abnormal psychology, but also in the lifespan and developmental stages. Okay, so latency stage, 6 to 12 years old. Here you're looking at kinks that have to do with obedience play, maybe teacher-student. So all you people that are loving my mean teacher videos, I bet you have some unresolved issues in the latency stage. And the psychological meaning behind this is that you're seeking structure and approval. You want approval from your instructor. You want to do a good job. Be obedient. So that's the latency stage. And then finally we have adolescence. So 13 to 19 years old or so. Those types of kinks are going to be role play, taboo, and rebellion. So I love role play. Maybe I'm stuck in the adolescent stage. I don't know. Now, you're not necessarily stuck in the stage. It's just you might have some unresolved issues from those psychological developmental stages. But role play is a big part of the adolescent stage. And the psychological meaning behind those kinks are going to be identity testing and boundaries. So learning what your boundaries are, testing boundaries. So if you are interested in any of those kinks or multiples of those kinks, you might have some unresolved issues from those corresponding developmental stages. So kind of interesting. I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to like the video. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. I now have channel memberships. I try to talk a lot about kinks and fetishes that come up with FinDom and how they work and what to expect. So thanks for watching.